Hey everybody. Hello my friends, my Maltese friends. I'm here with Isabella. Isabella is going to be 6 years old this fall. I'm Carrie Peterson and I am the founder of Maltese Beloved Pets, and I started it years ago after my precious Maltese Portia died. And I'm here today to do a little tutorial about grooming your Maltese puppy. Now, a lot of people have very young puppies, some people have older puppies, but basically what I want to do is I wanted to come on here and just talk to you a little bit about some tips that I have. The reason I know how to groom a Maltese puppy is because I've had Maltese for 17 years, and before I owned Doggy Bow, I actually owned Majesty Maltese, and I was a show breeder. So when I was a show breeder, I would raise the puppies, and not all breeders do this, but I would handle the puppies in such a way that they would have the temperament when they went to their home to understand what grooming was, how they were going to be handled, and stuff like that. The problem is a lot of breeders don't prepare them for being groomed, so they don't do the things that I used to do. Some of the things can be implemented when the puppy is older, because I've had Maltese around me when they're older and had to teach them the things that I normally used to teach my puppies when they were younger. I'm talking like very small, like 4 or 5, 6, 7 weeks old. So what I'm going to show you with Isabella today is just some tips that will help you when you are trying to teach your Maltese how to like to be groomed, okay? First of all, Maltese are very, very sensitive to touch, but also to noises. So when they go to the groomer and they are away from you, they're already full of anxiety. They're already stressed. So that's one of the reasons that grooming at home is very, very good for them. It's better for them. They don't have the stress level. You can use your own tools. You can use your own shampoo and conditioner. They obviously know you, so they're going to be more relaxed. Some Maltese get so stressed out when they go to the groomers. They come home, they get sick, they have diarrhea, whatever. So basically, what I wanted to talk to you about is how to condition them. Now, Isabella, she actually doesn't mind being groomed, okay? One of the things that I used to do when I had Maltese puppies was, as they were being raised, I would lay them in my arms like this, okay? When they were in my arms, I would touch their feet, okay? So it looks like you're just cuddling them, but what you're actually doing is you're teaching them to let their feet be touched, okay? Because their feet are very, very sensitive. So you're going to be touching their feet a lot when you're grooming, because you have to trim all the hair around the pads of their feet. You have to trim their nails, and so that's why it's very important to teach them to do that. The other thing is touching their face. So you want to teach them, you know, to have their face touched, okay? Some of them, and I'm not claiming to be a dog trainer, I just know the Maltese breed because I've had them for almost 20 years. Some of them are very, very nervous. Some of them don't like noise. Like Isabella doesn't like the dryer, okay? So I can't use a high-powered dryer. I will say that I saw the other day that you can actually buy little tiny ear muffs, just like for children that have ADD. They make these tiny little muffs for dogs' ears, so if they're sensitive to noise, you can actually put the little muffs on their ears, so when they're getting blow dried, but that's probably what groomers buy, I don't know, but I'm just saying, I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. So anyways, you want to make sure, and some of the dogs are very, very stiff. When you lay them on their back like this, they're squirming, they're fighting, and really, if the breeder has not done that, or they've been traumatized in some way, it's a very slow process. So you're going to have to try to lay them in your arms, you know, give them positive reinforcement, talk to them. They might even try biting at your hands or biting at you when you're doing it. It's okay. Keep encouraging them. You can have some treats available, you know, for them to be given while they're doing this. Okay, so that's the feet. So you just want to keep touching their feet to get them used to it, okay? The other thing is their ears. So when the puppies were little, I would hold them and I would just kind of touch their ears, because sometimes their ears are very, very sensitive. So some dogs don't like their ears touched. So this is another trouble area for people, okay? So that's a couple of the real sensitive areas. The other thing is some people like to brush the teeth, and you really should keep up on their teeth because Maltese have very tiny teeth, and they're known for getting plaque very, very quickly. Now, the plaque can cause gum infections, but can cause tear staining, and things like that. So we want to make sure that you try to brush the teeth. And I'm going to show you when you are brushing the teeth, okay, you put a tiny bit of little toothpaste on here. And if they're not used to it, you might want to just let them lick the toothbrush to start off with. So I'm going to let her lick the toothbrush and get used to it, okay? Then what you can do is you can slowly, you know, just kind of rub the side of their face. Okay, I don't know if you can see me here. My assistant Avery. Avery, can you point the camera down so that they can see what I'm doing? Okay, so all we're going to do is we're slowly going to get them used to having their gums touched. Now, if they have real bad plaque or something, their gums might be very sensitive. So you just start out by letting them enjoy having your hands on their face, touching their face, and stuff like that, okay? Let's go back to the ears for a minute. The problem with the ears that people don't realize is when the puppy comes to you, they don't have a lot of ear hair. Usually they're 12 weeks old, maybe older. And Maltese, their hair is about this long at 12 weeks old, okay? So when you look at Isabella, she is, obviously she's 6 years old, but I have her cut very short. So she's about the size of a 12-week-old puppy's hair. Her hair is about that length, okay? So when the puppy comes to you, you can see the hair is very short on the ears, right? Well, guess what? As the hair gets longer, the ears are going to be laying down more and more and more, and moisture gets trapped inside the ear canal. So what you need to do is you need to make sure that after they're used to you touching their ears, you want to make sure that you are plucking the ear hair out, okay? Because that ear hair actually is where a lot of the yeast can get built up in there, and they can get yeast infections in their ear. Moisture can get built up, so you want to make sure you keep their little ears plucked. And what I use for that is the R7 ear powder. And then you can either use your fingertips or you can use little hemostat clamps. Be careful not to clamp onto their ear leather inside. And you just want to sprinkle a little bit of the R7 powder in the ear canal and then pluck the ear hair out, okay? The other thing is you can use like a like an ear cleaning solution that helps to dry out the ear canal after you're done bathing them. Because if they're moving when you're bathing them, it's inevitable that you're going to get water inside the ear. It's because they're moving around. So anyway, so that answers about the feet and the ears. The other thing is they're usually groomers will do the anal glands. A lot of people don't even know what anal glands are. Anal glands are just sacs in the back end of the dog that need to be emptied. It can get infected and it can be quite serious. So if you don't know how to do that, you can either look it up online or ask your vet to drain the anal glands. The other thing I wanted to talk about is if the dog is being groomed at home. Right now I'm just grooming on a table here in my living room, but I actually have a grooming table, okay? So a grooming table, you can buy them online. Some of them fold up real easily and you can put them in your closet. And you usually have a grooming arm on it with like a leash that holds them. It's very important to not leave the dog on the table unattended because they could jump off and for obvious reasons really injure themselves bad. So you don't want to leave your dog unattended, okay? The other thing is, let's talk about sound, okay? A lot of dogs, as soon as you turn the clipper on or the nail trimmer on, all of a sudden they're totally scared. So what I used to do is the puppy, you turn the clippers on, okay? And maybe they're scared. What you can do is just let them sniff it. Just let them look at it. They're gonna sniff it, they're gonna maybe lick it, and then you can slowly work them up to it. Like every day, just let them become familiar with the sound and familiar with the process of them being around that noise and knowing, and give them a treat. So if they react positively to it, go ahead and give them a treat, and then they make a positive association with it. The other thing is the clippers, same thing. At first the puppy is not going to know what to think of it, so you just have to condition them to the sound, okay? Some people prefer to just do scissor cutting and just clip the hair with scissors. That's fine too. It depends on what kind of haircut you want to do. And I would just say, you know, if the dog is aggressive and you have tried and tried and tried, there is, you know, you could try muzzling them, but there again, that's kind of traumatic for them. But if it's a difference between them building trust with you, you just have to keep giving them positive reinforcement. Some groomers do have to muzzle dogs because they come in there and they are very aggressive, and you'd be surprised the damage a little dog can do. So my goal is to not only save money on grooming, but also to give my dog the best experience possible. So I've always done my own grooming. I will say when I had my first Maltese many, many years ago, I took him to the groomer, and when he came home, his hair was cut all crooked. And this is not to bash groomers. Groomers work very, very hard. It's one of the most difficult jobs. But what I'm saying is that when you have them at home, even though the first couple haircuts might look really, really bad, just keep trying. You know, just keep practicing. It's just like anything else. So just keep trying. The other thing you can do is some people do clicker training. Now, Isabella's not trained on clicker training, but some people will use a clicker, and then every time the dog does something positive, they click and they give them a treat, okay? What I will talk about next is, these are some little teeny tiny, these are actually for cats, these little teeny tiny nail clippers. But when your puppy comes to you, these are more than good enough to clip their little tiny nails, okay? If it's an older dog, then you want to use a full-size nail clipper, okay? When you're trimming the nails, you want to make sure you just take the tip off. And then I also will use, this is not charged right now, but basically this is just a Dremel tool. And what you're going to do with this is you're going to, once again, the sound, it kind of tickles their nails when you're doing it, so you want to get them used to it slowly. And you want to just, you know, touch their paw to the Dremel, you know, let them feel it. And then what you can do is go ahead and slowly start, you know, grinding their nails. At first they kind of pull away. Just keep encouraging them and holding the paw, okay? This right here is just a little pillow for, you know, if you're working on their ears, you can put their little head down on the pillow and they rest their little head. A lot of groom show people will use pillows to, to rest their head so that they can work on the top knot, and the little dog will hold its head still for you. And that's about it. The biggest thing is that if the dog is not familiar with the sound, that is really stressful for them. And so it takes a lot of praise and a lot of encouragement, lots of treats. Not too many because they'll get sick, but I mean, give them little pieces of treats. So the thing with the paws though, is sometimes if you can't, if the hair is too long on here, you can actually take an old nylon and you can actually put the little paw inside the nylon, and what it'll do is poke the little nails through, and then you can easily trim, because I know sometimes it's hard to find the little nails in their hair is in the way of trying to trim the nails. So, you know, I hope some of these tips will help you. You can comment below and I'll try to answer the questions the best I can. I just have some tools here. This is a very small little greyhound comb, which works really well on the face. And then I have a slicker brush. This is great for getting mats out. So you basically, anytime you're getting a mat out, you want to make sure you lift the hair. As the hair gets longer, this would make sense to you, but basically it's less painful for the dog if you lift the hair away from the skin. Then with your hand, you're going to hold, kind of stabilize the hair so that when you are combing, it's not so painful for them. So you're actually pulling on the coat a little bit, but you're holding the hair so it's not painful. I've got my regular scissors here. I've got my forceps clamps that I was telling you about. And that's about it. So it's been great, you know, spending some time with you guys today. Their coat is, you know, pretty short at first. Some people like to just, you know, keep it short, and they'll either, you know, scissor cut it and keep it short, or they'll let it keep growing. And it's important to have a detangler mist that you can, you know, mist the dog as the hair is growing, because basically when the coat gets wet, it mats more. and when it gets dirty, it mats more. So the more that you can keep it clean and keep it brushed, then what will happen is you'll be able to grow the hair longer and longer. Now some of them, they have very kinky coats, and the only option is to keep them cut short. So the blade I like to use is the 5F. This is a Oster 5F clip, and I clip the body with that. And then sometimes I've got Maybelline with her leg hair longer, and then I've got her in the Asian cut. So anyway, this is actually a peanut clipper for trimming the feet. And I'm trying to think. So basically, I usually use a oatmeal-based shampoo or a whitening shampoo to keep their little feet clean and their little face clean. And so, yeah. So that's about it for today, guys. I hope you have fun grooming. Don't be discouraged. Just keep trying and keep trying. It is through patience and, you know, keeping things relaxed that the dog, through positive reinforcement, will be able to enjoy grooming. So happy grooming. Bye-bye.